Hello, I'm John Idelson. I'm a professor emeritus at California State University, Monterey Bay, but I also serve on the nominating committee for Q. And today we're talking to the candidates running for the board of that outstanding organization. The nominating committee hopes that these chats will help you make an informed decision on that important ballot you'll cast as you vote for the Q board of directors. So let's get right into it. So Traci, let's start with your name, your title, and what was your first experience with Q?
Yeah, great question. So, hey, I first want to thank everybody out there who encouraged me to consider running for the National Q Board group. And I'm honored and humbled. My name's Traci Bonde. I'm an IT project manager in Campbell Union High School District, currently in the San Jose area. My first exposure to Q was in the early 2000s when a friend, Eileen Walters, out of Contra Costa Office of Education, worked with me and encouraged me to join. Now, during that time, I had little ones, so I wasn't able to participate, but the first real exposure I had beyond the regional groups was when I went to my first conference, probably around 2007, 2008. And I had touted myself as a progressive educator, trying to make change really happen. And then I attended that conference, and it recharged my love of learning in new ways and made me super excited about education and the potential for change as I got to experience all these fantastic teachers and have these exposure to really phenomenal leadership and out-of-the-box thinking.
Those Q conferences do sort of put everything on steroids. So,
It sure does.
so can you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you want to serve on the Q board of directors?
Yeah, thank you. So I've been a district leader for 20 plus years across districts throughout California. I am a servant leader and I am a student-centered educator. So all of the systematic approaches I have to my work and the collaborative nature and style I bring to the table brings an opportunity, I think, for me to support people in unique ways. I'm super excited about education, and I love to share things as I learn them, whether it be things related to technology or best practices or really solid pedagogy, or even our new realm, with our state of COVID and the pandemic, which has brought to the forefront the realization that many of our educators and students are working in scenarios with a great deal of stress and anxiety. So those are areas that I am super committed to. I am always wanting to learn more. And I believe that my unique skill set and exposure to all the different elements of the educational paradigm makes me a unique candidate to serve on this outstanding organization.
Well, this question is one we've asked every year, but it seems to take more meaning this year with COVID, because we ask, what do you see as some of the greatest challenge educators have? And how can Q and Q leadership help educators?
Yeah, outstanding question. So if there has ever been a year in my career where we have had an opportunity to pause and rethink what it looks like in our classrooms and the wraparound services with principals and bus drivers and cafeteria workers and the importance of office staff and partnerships with community and parents, this has been that year. During what we would call to be the most stressful time in the history of education that I know of, at least during my lifetime and all of my research through parts of the 20th century and to now, we are faced with a great opportunity. I think during this past year, I've seen more and more educators who have talked about a couple things, right? Their concern and frustration over what is happening in their classrooms, and the excitement and the discoveries that they have made about what extremely qualified teachers that they are. In meeting the needs of our students, we have to begin thinking more about student-centered services more than ever. We now have a challenge in education because we've lost approximately 300,000 plus students in California because of the pandemic this year alone. We're now going to be competing more and more with online education in its private format, in independent schools, in private schools. So I think for public education, for K-12 education, for those of you out there in classrooms, what you do moving forward is going to be more important than ever. And here's what I know, what you're doing for most of you is really good work. So how do we take that enthusiastic energy and a love for our students and spread it in such a way that we create extremely thoughtful programs that meet the needs of our students in creative ways?
Well, you pointed out great challenges, but with great challenges come great opportunities. So this will be an interesting year to follow on to what was probably one of the most challenging years. I want to thank you on behalf of the nominating committee for the leadership you've already shown in Q, and then for taking the next step of running for the Q board. So thank you. And then for those of you watching, please watch all the candidates interviews and look for that information on the ballot when you can vote, because voting is important. So again, thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Take care out there.